Health is real, seek help, and the stigma. On the news this evening, RISIEC says no court cases stopping local government elections. Rivers pensioners suspend planned protests. Police nab 4 in Rivers over robbery, kidnapping. Passenger who attacked flight crew remanded in Kirikiri prison. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Trump deploys National Guard to Washington, D.C. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. Commission says it has not received any court notices challenging the August 30 local government elections. The Commissioner for Political Parties Affairs, Monitoring and Security, Godfrey Woke, made this known in an interview with correspondent Soibi Oruwari.
As I speak to you now, there's no letter to that effect. And a lot of all the political parties have embraced on us, even other people from civil organizations. In fact, tomorrow I'm having another meeting with the civil organizations. Market people have also come here to say, look, we are supporting you people. But what we are trying to do, we need to produce a credible elections that will help the people of Rivers State. So that those people who are going to win will now know that actually this election is credible, fair, and everybody will have sense of belonging. And that's what we are doing. So any other person to come into towards order, we don't know. But as it stands now, we have not gotten any court injunction, else not to continue with this election.
Okay, said that the only letter they have received is from lawyers representing the Emeka Beke-led APC, notifying them about a court judgment confirming their group as the authentic leadership of the party in the state.
Well, the Emeka Beke letter came before the screening. They only informing us that he is the substantive chairman of APC. But however, that they have not also conducted primaries. That's not before the reset, because we don't know what happened to the political parties. So what we see on ground is what we do. So we got that letter and we have gone through it. And he said that all the primaries conducted, they have not done their primaries, and that at the appropriate time they will inform us so they are going to do their primaries. So we don't know the appropriate time, sir. He didn't even come and tell us as a member of the party. He didn't say anything. But what we have now is the one that have presented a candidate to us, and that's what we are treating.
Professor Woke also said 17 political parties would take part in the elections except for the ADC and Boot Party. He added that the list of cleared candidates for councillor and chairman positions will be released this week.
There are about 2 parties that not actually participate in this election. Out of 19 political parties, what we have now on ground is 17 political parties. And so political parties have also submitted their various aspirants for this election, ranging from councillors to chairmen. The Boot wrote a letter. They are not interested because their case is already in court. Then for ADC, we didn't hear from any of them. So that's why I said out of 19 political parties, we have 17 political parties on ground. We have APP aspirants, and we have screened them in all the local governments.
Moving on, some pensioners in Rivers State under the banner of Rivers State Civil Pensioners from 2012 to date say they have put off their planned protest for now. The group earlier threatened to hit the streets if the state sole administrator failed to pay death benefits and implement a new salary structure for its members. But in an interview with our correspondent, Soibi Oruwari, the group's coordinator, Isaac Orang, said the sole administrator has met part of their demands, especially by paying the newly approved salary structure for pensioners.
thank the administrator for the 32,000 naira he paid, ranging from May to July. In fact, that was why we decided to shape the planned protest we intended to embark on. And we still use this opportunity to appeal to him to consider other aspects of our demands. We are demanding that the backlog of pension arrears that was not paid and gratuity should be paid immediately, because a lot of people who retired some 12 years back up to now have not been paid. Some people retired 2014 up to now have not been paid a dime. Accumulation of this backlog is becoming a burden. Most of the pensioners are dying, leaving their monies.
Orang, however, urged the state to go a step further by paying gratuities and death benefits to the families of deceased pensioners, noting their years of service should not be forgotten.
We are expecting gratuity, backlog of gratuity that has not been paid, pension arrears that was not paid too. And then we also expect the government to look at death benefits. Death benefits since the inception of this administration has not been paid to anybody up to now. And most of the next of kin to survive on that money. We also wanted to plead with him to think of how to embark on free medicals for the pensioners. Most people are above 60 years and they are always subject to different kinds of health challenges. And so we expect the government to look at their issues, because this small money we are receiving is not enough to take care of our health challenges.
Still in Rivers State, the planned joint investigation visit to the oil spill site in Pia Community, Kana local government area, did not happen today. The spill began last Wednesday. Pia Youth President Petaba Donaldson told correspondents to Ibiruari that there have been repeated failed attempts over the past 3 days to stop the spill from the Yorla oil field wellhead.
There will be no GIV told them that, because we have to make sure everything is in place so that we'll not be going to the bush, because that bush is a far distance from the community somehow. It's a very bad place, and they, as a system, they are paid people to be saying grass cutting and the road, a kind of access road grass cutting, and you see the place very bushy and a very dirty place, and that those kind of never took place at no time. But that is a place they were paying people monthly to get him money. The results of the JIV so that it plays fair, because we know that we did not do anything negative to their system.
Donaldson said the spill has now been going on for 5 days, posing serious risks to the environment and residents.
But that is a place they were paying people monthly to get him money. Since it has happened like that, and we decided that we'll go into the system to making sure they should do the examination and get results for when. My concern is that it's painful, because we want to see the results of it, and we are waiting very seriously to making sure that whatever results they are going to do will be positive for Kwea. To destroy the aquatic life and the farmlands of those who are that have their farms around the area and the fishing, because that is at the verge of the river.
Meanwhile, environmentalist Sebastian Palap from the Environmental Defenders Network is calling on government agencies and the oil field operators to immediately carry out a full assessment of the damage to people and their livelihoods.
And again, the farmlands close to that place are going to be contaminated. And we are talking about food. When people begin to harvest crops that have been contaminated by hydrocarbons like that and consume them, some of these hydrocarbons have been known to be carcinogens. So we expect that the operators will quickly clean up the place and then take every measure to ensure that people don't consume food that has been contaminated by this, by way of giving them adequate compensation that will keep them off any form of contaminated food from those areas.
Olab also warned about the dangers of leaving the spill unchecked and the impact on farmers if the issue is not addressed.
We have seen the environment is already impacted, and the properties of women and the right of way of men going to fishing is already affected. So we expect the operators to quickly come in and do what is required of them. The people who pass through that place to go to fishing are already affected. They have to look for other ways to get to their destination. Then again, people who are not aware of what has happened, if the community doesn't cordon off that place, they'll be exposed to the dangers there.
Still to come, passenger who attacked flight crew remanded in Kirikiri prison. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The River State Police Command says it has arrested 4 suspected members of a robbery and kidnapping gang. Police spokesperson Grace Iringekoko explained in a statement that officers from the Bori Division were on routine patrol along Umpe Street in Bori on August 8 when they got a distress call about some suspicious activity. They moved in quickly and arrested the suspects on the spot. They arrested 26-year-old Solomon Chris, 20-year-old Faf John, 30-year-old Wisdom Kalongo, and 33-year-old Wisdom Samuel. Items recovered from them include a locally made revolver pistol with 1 live round, some hard drugs, charms, and an ash-colored Toyota Sienna. Iringekoko said the suspects are now in custody while investigations continue to track down other members. In the meantime, security experts are sharing tips on how car owners can keep their vehicles safe from thieves. This comes after the River State Police Command announced last week that it busted a notorious interstate car theft syndicate, arresting 12 suspects and recovering 22 stolen vehicles. Security analyst Ukechi Smith-Dibia tells correspondent Emeka Otuka that vehicle security devices remain the most effective form of protection.
Vehicle security devices are affordable for car owners. We have different types of vehicle security ranging from federal lock. Federal lock is about 18, 20 to 25,000. Mobilizer and immobilizer is less than 25,000. And we have different types of vehicle tracking devices. And most of them are less than 60,000. But what we have seen over time is that people do not take security serious. And as such, we keep falling prey in the hands of these guys.
He's also pushing for a policy that will make it mandatory for all vehicle owners to install tracking devices at the point of registration or change of ownership.
Car owners should be intentional in securing their vehicles. We also advise that the government should include the aspect of vehicle security during the process of vehicle registration and change of ownership. I tell you, if 90% of vehicles in this state have vehicle security devices installed in them, then it will make the work of the police very easy.
Another security expert, Jackson Ojo, agreed, saying electronic tracking devices are the best way to protect vehicles. He said cars with such devices are harder to steal and much easier to recover.
For car owners and drivers and others to help the police to do their work effectively, we need to go into electronic trackers. When you install it in the vehicle, even if they take the vehicle from here to any part of the world, it is trackable by the police and they will get your car for you. Outside this, know where you are parking your car. You don't just park your car anywhere.
In another development, the Zone 16 Police Command has a new Assistant Inspector General of Police, Johnson Adenola. A statement issued today by a spokesperson for the zone, SP Gon Emonena, explained that Adenola takes over from AIG Tolani Alausa, who retired recently. Zone 16 comprised officials on an IBOM Air flight inbound Lagos from Uyo. Comfort has been to advise Media Communications Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Tunde Moshood, said Manson is remanded in Kirikiri Correctional Facility. Moshood made this known on X shortly after the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority said enforcement action will soon become more frequent in Nigeria airports as unruly conduct by passengers becomes rampant. Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection at NCAA, Mike Achimogu, in a statement today said air safety regulations must be obeyed. Earlier, IBOM Air said the female passenger will no longer fly with any of its aircraft. The airline said her conduct posed a serious threat to the safety of their crew, passengers, and aircraft. In other news, residents woke up this morning to the body of a newborn inside a refuse dump at Omokume, Omagwa, in Ikre local government area of Rivers State. An eyewitness identified as Thangod, who spoke to our correspondent, called on authorities to urgently remove the body, as the odor is already spreading in the area.
None of us saw who else that dropped the baby. We don't know. But we are trying to investigate. So hopefully this time, let's say earlier this morning, hopefully now the dead body is still there. And people are passing there. Those people are still there. So they should find a way. Government should find a way and come so that they can be able to remove the disease. So that it will not be affecting people.
Meanwhile, UNICEF is reminding parents about the importance of breastfeeding, saying babies should be fed only breast milk for the first 6 months, and then continue breastfeeding along with other foods until they are at least 2 years old. The message came during a 2-day online media session hosted by UNICEF's Enugu Field Office as part of World Breastfeeding Week, celebrated from August 1 to 7. UNICEF's communications officer in Enugu, Dr. Ijoma Onuoha Ogwe, said in Nigeria, only 36% of mothers start breastfeeding in the first hour, and just 29% stick to exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. UNICEF also called on the public and private sectors to provide paid maternity leave, breastfeeding breaks, workplace crèches, and access to trained counselors to help normalize breastfeeding and support mothers through their breastfeeding journey. This year's theme is Prioritize Breastfeeding, Create Sustainable Support Systems. On the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has deployed the National Guard to Washington, D.C., as he announces a crackdown on crime and homelessness in the city. He also placed D.C. police under federal control. Trump says the city has been taken over by violent gangs and criminals, but D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has rejected these claims as data shows violent crime in the city is at a 30-year low. On the news this evening, you heard RISIEC says there is no court cases stopping the local government elections. Rivers pensioners have suspended their planned protest. Police have nabbed 4 persons in Rivers State over robbery and kidnapping. A passenger who attacked an Ibom Air flight crew has been remanded in Kirikiri prison. On the foreign scene, the U.S. President Donald Trump has deployed National Guard to Washington, D.C. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.